Hi everyone, I'm Christine with LumaBooth. Joining me is Drew Christopher, owner of Photo Booth 101 and the YouTube channel Hustle with Drew. Hi Drew, thanks for joining us. Where are you joining us from today?
Yeah, hi. I am in LA County. We're about 20 minutes from downtown, just in our showroom here. So, yeah, thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again and helping us out. Um, so are you experiencing super weird temperatures again this weekend?
The weather,
This week?
you know what?
Weird
Yeah,
temperatures?
it's so weird, and it's kind of throwing off my events, the weather, because out here in
Yeah.
SoCal we have a lot of house parties, a lot of backyard parties, and this weather's kind of just making things a little difficult. But as always, we're always planned and prepared. But yeah, the weather is, I guess, it's good that we have a little bit of rain here because it doesn't happen often. So how about you?
Oh yes. Tuesday it snowed, and today it's 60 degrees and sunny. So
Okay, all right.
we're a little all over the place. So yeah, the Northeast, our events get ruined quite often because of the weather, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just how it is.
yeah, yeah. And I meant to ask you last time, where where did you get that sign, that neon sign? I need one.
So this is actually one of my coworkers. He does events on the side, so he actually has that for his events. I can ask him for you, but I'm not entirely sure. But he does use them for his own events.
Please, please, yeah, I need one for sure for my office. Little hustle with Drew or Photo Booth 101
Oh yeah,
sign.
that would be a really good idea, actually. Little
Yeah,
pizzazz in the office.
yeah, yeah.
All
Cool.
right, so today we're going to be going over how to create a GIF and video booth along with how to use the Glam features. Afterwards, I will be answering your questions and Drew will be helping me out. So please leave your questions in the comment section below. Drew, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, cool. So let me go ahead and start this up. All right. Let me just open up this share. Cool. So first thing we're going to want to do is open up LumaBooth. Just go ahead and launch event. And the first thing I'm going to go over are capture mode. So usually you'd have either one of these selected or all of them. So what you're going to want to do today, since we're only going to be setting up the GIF and video feature, that's what we're going to go over, you're going to want to press the photo button and the boomerang button. That's just deselecting them. What this means is when you launch your event, you will only have the GIF and video options available. So this is really important to remember that, before you have this set up, because it's what's going to be available for your event. And then next, we're going to go hit the drop down button, go to the welcome screen, and we're just going to go over briefly how to change this and what you can do in this app for this. So you're going to want to change, let's go over how to change the text you see on the welcome screen. I like to usually keep mine to say press experience to start booth, just because it's a little bit of an instruction of what to do. Just a little bit of guidance. Sometimes you'll see people walk up to the booth, they may not know what to do if you're doing a drop off, if it's unattended. This is helpful, but if you're there, there's really no need to have this because you can guide the people using the booth. But let's just say we're going to change this text here to something a little bit more personal. Let's just say it's my birthday party. We're going to put Drew turns, let's just say 21. And then from here, you can actually change the font of the text. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can change the font. You're going to hit the font button, and then you'll have access to all of these amazing fonts. There's so many to choose from. You can do cursive, you can do a simple text, and let's just select this one right here. And then next, we can change the color of the font just by clicking that box here. You have all of these colors to choose from. You can also enter if you see right next to it, a color code. So if there's a specific color that the customer wants, you can literally just type in that code. But let's just go ahead and change this color to blue, let's just say. And then, yeah, that would be the font aspect of this. You can also change, one second here, the theme. So what I love about LumaBooth is that there's some preset themes here. Let's just go ahead and just select like this. You can choose from. Let's just say if you're in a pinch and you want to just do it really quick, you can. You can also change the background if you want to just have it something simple, again, like a color. and you can also enter a color code as well. All right, so let me see. So yeah, this is all customizable. It's all something that you would obviously do before your event. So I just suggest everyone that is doing this just play around with it. If it's you can also add an image here to the back. So if it's a quinceañera, which we have a lot in SoCal, you can change the back to actually be a photo of the birthday girl. That just adds a lot of value to your rental. The customization part of this is really, really important. All right, so next I want to go over with you guys capture settings. So you're gonna hit the drop down menu. We have our welcome screen done. So right below that, you'll see capture mode, but we're gonna go one below that where it says capture settings. And these are just the settings for all of the experiences, a lot of timing stuff. You can do overlay stuff, but since we're focusing on GIF and the video aspect, let's just focus on that. So right here under GIF, you'll see there's an overlay button to choose to add an overlay to your GIF. Maybe we'll do that in a separate video stream where you select that. And then below this, you'll see rectangle and square. This is really important. A lot of people overlook this part here. So what this means is that you can either shoot your GIF in a rectangle aspect, like a ratio, or a square. For my own personal preference, I like to keep it square because when it's rectangle, it's a little long, and sometimes the backdrop isn't long enough to cover up the screen. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I like the way the square looks, and personally, I like the way it looks in social media posts. So
And
just
Drew,
play around. Yeah.
a quick question. So with like the rectangle, if someone is using, let's say GIF for portrait mode, would that be better than the square in that instance at least?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
If somebody wanted to use, let's say portrait, like a portrait GIF instead, say they want something like a longer look, so would portrait be a better option and set to rectangle than just a square format?
I believe so. Yeah. What do you think? What's your take on that?
I think it all depends. It depends on their look, but I think, rectangle with the iPad or iPhone set to portrait would be awesome, especially if you're trying to do something that shows off, I guess, more of the outfits, maybe like more of a, like you said, the quinceañera type thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, it's just preference. I know a lot of photo booths are. It's like sometimes depending on where your backdrop is also placed, like the distance you have, so that's kind of a factor too. So I always suggest, at your event, you just kind of play with it and see what fits best and what looks better. Um, yeah, did that did that clarify that?
Yep, that's fine. I was
Okay.
just, curious and, giving our customers some options.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what I love this app too is, everything is so easy to do when you're at the event. So you can literally just, you don't have to log in on a computer. You can just open it up obviously on the booth and just, micro adjust these settings while you're there. Um, yeah, I mean, look at this is a debate. My wife loves the rectangle look, so we kind of go back and forth. So it just depends on the event and how far we have the booth placed from the backdrop. Um, so below this, where it says reverse, um, we like to just leave this unchecked. We like the way it plays just naturally. And below is the rest of these are just time settings. I'll just go through it really quickly. It says before photo one. All this means is how much time happens before. I'm sorry, how much time goes on from when the guest presses the GIF button till it takes the first photo. This is really important to at least give your customers enough time or the users using the booth enough time because if you have it set to one, that's just 1 second and that won't be enough time. And every person that takes the photo will most likely not be in position. So I think maybe 5 seconds minimum, 7 seconds probably the sweet spot. And right below this, before photos, all others. Um, 5 seconds is a good amount of time, but what this means is how much time goes on between the first photo to the second photo or the second photo to the third photo and so on. So this doesn't have to be as long because the first before first photo probably will be the amount of time that they'll need the most just because like I said before you have to get into position and once they're already in position um, that's the sweet spot right there. So I think 5 seconds before all photos and right below that delay each photo. What this means is how much time. Let's just say they take the first photo. The delay each photo basically means how much time will that photo they just took be shown on the iPad, and this is important to have because it's part of the experience. So if they take a photo, Guests usually like to see what the photo looked like really quick before moving on to the next photo. 2 seconds is good. If you have it too long, um, it might be a little confusing for the users. So I think 2 seconds is great. And then capture, what this means is how many photos will be in the GIF. You can do 3, you can move it up to 12, 13. There's a lot you can do, but I think it's just 3 is the sweet spot. You don't want to have too many photos and it kind of get out of control if if you have anything like higher than 3 or 4. Um, all right, and then delay between frames. Hopefully, I can explain this correctly. This is just the playback speed. So you know, I think 300 is a good spot to have it at. Christine, can you explain that a little bit better? I know we talked earlier. You had a better explanation of the between delay between frames.
Yeah, sure. So I think it goes down to 50 milliseconds and then all the way up to 500. So 50 will play it back very, very quick. So 50 is like the amount of milliseconds between each photo. So 50 would obviously be like in quick like succession, where the 500 would be much, much slower. It would be more time to view each individual photo. So I think you're right. Usually between like 200 and 300 is like a good spot. Um, and closer to 500 is going to be kind of long and they're going to think they're just looking at a photo versus 50 where it's going to be very, very quick and maybe a little hard to see. So I think between 2 and 300 milliseconds is a pretty good spot to keep it at.
Hmm. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, let's move on to just the video settings. Um, this is one of my favorite features. The video is kind of what I really think LumaBooth stands out. There's a lot of other apps that don't have this type of recording and like the capability and how easy it is to use. So I just wanted to go over how on this video setting, just the length of the video. Obviously, the countdown, how much time goes down between when they press the button for the video before it starts recording. Video length, 5 seconds. You can bump this all the way up to 60 seconds, but just keep in mind the longer you're recording, the bigger the file is going to be and the longer it's going to take to send out. 5 seconds is good. I think 10 seconds would probably be, for my own opinion, the longest you'd want to record. But the cool thing is you can micro adjust this to your needs depending on your event and what you'll need. And then the quality, basically just the file size, and that the higher the size, the better the quality. And again here, just size. You can change it, like we mentioned earlier, from rectangle, square, um, depending on which way you're shooting on your booth. The text here, displayed before recording, get ready. You can customize this to say whatever you'd like, which is really neat. And yeah, I think that pretty much does it for this section here. Let's go on and go to 1 second here. We're going to go to the drop-down menu. I wanted to go over the glam setting. This is something I get asked a ton about, is the glam option. It's a really popular thing now, glam booths. So let's go over this.
And
All
now
right.
have you found that with the like Glam Booth it's been like more popular like due to celebrities like the Kardashians and I guess
Yeah,
like, higher name.
it's so funny you mention that. Always when someone is interested in glam, the Kardashians always come up, and I can show you on my phone when people are interested in it. They'll literally send me a photo that they took, and they're like, "Hey, can you do this?" So yeah, it's easier for me to explain it by just say like, go to the Kardashians Instagram. You'll see their photo booth. Like that's the glam option there. So yeah, that happens a lot. It's it's definitely a different look, and what I love about having this glam option is you can literally change the way you market your photo booth to not just be a regular, like a photo booth that does photos, gifs, boomerangs, and all that. You can literally just have it do glam by itself, and you're like, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, it's been amazing. It's a premium charge because the lights, we had to bring more lights, and we do use a white backdrop for this feature because it will produce the best photos for this feature, in my own opinion. And I think that's kind of an industry thing. Everyone will agree with that the white backdrop is key for this feature. Um, so let's just go over the settings really quick. So for filters, let's just say we wanted to just do glam. You're just going to deselect everything. Cool. We'll have Glam selected. And then for filters, we always just put cycle through and beauty mode, right? Okay, so down here you'll see in beauty mode, you're going to want to select that on. And what this is basically just like it says right here below, it's smooth skin and remove blemishes. Um, this is this is where this feature stands out because everyone wants to have perfect skin in their photos, um, so this is really key to make sure you have this on. The sweet spot is around 7 or 8. It's all preference too. Maybe I like to show up to my event. The customer is there while I'm setting up, and I'll show them the feature and I ask them like, how do you like the skin, the blemish removal, skin stuff. I'm not the sorry the beauty mode. I ask them, how do you like the beauty mode? Is it too much? Do you want it more? Do you want it less? And I would say 9 out of 10 times they're fine with the way we have it, but I have ran into instances where the customer wanted it less because it will look a little unnatural if you know to some people, but to me, I think this is the sweet spot, 7 or 8. And yeah, Christine, is there anything on this page here?
No, I think you covered basically everything. The great thing about beauty mode, especially if you're at an event, if you want to take a quick test photo to see how your lighting is and everything like that, it does give you the option to test on a real person at a real event, so you can see exactly how much it is like smoothing the skin and removing blemishes. I definitely don't recommend going more than like 7 or 8. 10 is very, very, very blurred. I mean, if unless it's like a certain type of effect you're going for, 10, I think it's a little bit too much. Personally, the um, I would say yeah, about 7, 8 is like the sweet spot. If you're just trying to do like a little enhancing, I'd say maybe 5 or 6.
Mhm.
But yeah, 7, 8 is pretty much where the typical glamorous photo booth like scale like lands on a 7 or 8.
Yeah, and I think too, the amount of light you are using also plays a factor in how much you would use the feature here. Like the more lighting, the better. Lighting is honestly, guys, it's everything with this filter. Um, I'm sure we'll probably talk about this in the Q&A, but really quick, I think the more lighting, the better. Obviously, a lot of photo booths, it's just the ring light. We like to have additional lights for this, and what we do is we'll have 2 different lights on the side, the little LED strip bars, and then we'll just use the light on the photo booth. So lighting and backdrop is really important. So let me go ahead. I think that's going to end it here for this tutorial. But before I exit this, I wanted to show some quick examples of this filter. I know we're just talking about it. So these are some results you can get from the Glam Booth. As you can see, the skin is really smooth. The lighting is great. The backdrop is white. Here'd be another one. And just another one, just for reference, just so you can have an idea, like a visual of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, and these are our actual photos that we took back at the expo actually last year. So they came out really, really, really well.
Yeah, yeah, that looked great.
Okay. Nope, I think I am frozen. Yeah. Okay, so Drew, so
Yeah,
I seem to be having issues with the camera at the moment.
quality was too good.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to ask a couple questions for you and then get your feedback as well.
Yeah.
So a question, I'll take this first one. A question I get a lot is, can I add my own filters? And yes, you can. You can add your own filters. They they're LUTs filters, like .cube files. So yes, you can add your own. A lot of people want to do like the big one is like Andy Warhol effect. That's a big one nowadays. So there is that option also. Um, Going back to the when you were showing the different options for video, when you're talking about the quality, so the higher quality obviously get a lot better quality, that's the best. But if you do want to do lower quality, one of the benefits is it does save it very quickly and it saves it on the spot. So
Mhm.
it does allow you to actually like get a video more quickly, which is great if you're in those situations where you need to download quickly if you want the customers to get them right away versus a higher quality video which may take a bit longer.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, I'm sorry, Drew, what was that?
No, I'm sorry. Did you? I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. So let's see. So the next one I get a lot is, and you can actually take this one, Drew. I think you'd have a lot of good experience with this. Is what kind of lighting and like I guess type of like backdrop? I know you touched on it a bit with the white backdrop, but like what would you recommend as far as lighting and backdrop goes for a glam booth?
Yeah. So the type of backdrop is actually important too. There are different types of backdrops. You have your pillow type backdrop, which would be like the one behind me here, where it's on a like a frame and it's tight. It's really tight because if you have a backdrop where it's like a curtain, the curtain will kind of cause a little bit of shadows because of the I guess just of the way it's constructed. So I think the pillow tight backdrop, or if you have like a white wall, that'll work well. And again, like I said, white works best because it really lets the guests stand out, and it really makes the photos pop. Um, as for lighting, I don't think the just the light on the photo booth, like let's just say you have like one of our booths here, like deluxe booth, that light alone, it'll work, but you won't get the best results. So what I recommend is to get some additional lighting. I know a lot of people just have um, like one of those softbox lights, like a big one, and they'll just have it over their booth facing down, and just add additional light coming down to take care of that some of the shadows. We personally have two additional lights that we'll put on the side. They're like these LED bar lights, and we have them coming at the side from the top, just facing down. So it's really all about eliminating the shadows. The less shadows in these photos, the better photo you'll get. And it's kind of with any photo booth, to be honest. But for this filter, it's really important because it's yeah, like I said, the shadows. That's kind of key. But yeah, I think that's pretty much my answer for that one.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we get a lot of questions as far as like lighting or like what we recommend as far as the type. So I think it was important to like address that. It's a very, very common question. Um, so we didn't touch on it at this Facebook Live, but maybe we will on a future one. As far as like camera settings go, in LumaBooth, there is the option to uh, adjust your camera settings, so you can adjust them manually. So I do
Yeah,
recommend that also if you are using like a glam, just so you get like that super crisp, like super like quick shutter speed, and it does help the quality overall.
yeah, and I want to really quick. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's something I didn't mention. Um, if you follow my YouTube channel, I always talk about the drop off for the photo booth, where you can drop a booth off at a venue and you leave it unattended and the guests use it. And if you're going to be doing a glam booth and you're doing I'm sorry, manual settings, which you should, that'll give you the best results. You have to be aware of your settings, like the surroundings, the environment. So if you set up a photo booth, let's just say outdoors, and you leave the settings to manual, you have to be aware if the light in the venue or wherever your environment is changes, your photos aren't going to auto adjust. So being at the event during a glam booth, I would highly recommend staying there because if the lights change, you're gonna have to go through and auto correct those changes. But yeah, I mean, you could still use the booth in automatic. You're just not gonna get the best results for glam.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so let's see. Um, so I see a couple quick questions on our YouTube page as well. Um, a couple users are asking, is it for Windows? So no, LumaBooth is for iPhone and iPad. If you are looking to use it for Windows, we have an option called DSLR Booth. Let's see. And we did have one question on the Facebook Live about changing the text color. As Drew mentioned, yes, you can change the text color in the welcome screen as well as like the color of the buttons on the welcome screen also.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I think that is it for today. Do you have any questions that you get asked quite often, Drew?
About Glam in particular, or just about anything we talked about today?
GIF, video, or glam filter?
Yeah, I think you could probably answer this better. A lot of people are asking if they could hook up a microphone to the video. I know that's been like a popular thing.
Yeah, I believe so with Bluetooth. If not, we will make a support article on it. I'm not sure quite off the top of my head. We have been playing with a couple different options because I know there's options you can hook up with lightning cable.
Hmm, hmm.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, it looks like we already have an article. So I will post that article underneath the Facebook Live and on the YouTube video as well.
Cool. Yeah, this was fun. I love doing these. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, they're very informative. They're nice and quick too. They're not too long, and I think we will cover a lot of interesting topics in the next few weeks. So yeah, so if you have any other questions, everybody, please write them in the comments below, and we'll write back to you. Otherwise, we'll be looking to do another one of these in the near future, maybe next week, and we'll be covering more topics such as the Boomerang 360, as well as things like virtual attendant, more sharing options. So again, thank you so much, Drew, for joining us. And again, if anyone has any comments or questions, please leave them in the videos below.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Drew.
Take care.